Let's start.
Yep. Also, can we talk about the fact that this is Journey 5? Like, this is the 5th time you're playing this.
Yes.
I thought there were only 4 endings.
6.
6? Okay, never mind. I thought there were 4 endings, and I was like, you're going to play it for a 5th time. And it's asking you if you want to play it for a 5th time, and there's only 4
You can play
endings.
up to 7 times. Each time you play it, the room count goes up. But after game 7, it doesn't go up anymore. So it's basically just the same game after game 7.
It's basically the same.
Tell a story.
The lady has a snake in her hair.
The great Elden Ring was shattered. In our home, across the fog, the lands between.
Art in this is beautiful.
Queen America the Eternal is nowhere to be found. And in the night of the Black Knives, Godwin the Golden was first to perish. Soon, America's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring. The mad taint of their newfound strength triggered the shattering.
Oh, wait a
A
minute.
war from which no lord arose. A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Oh, rise now, ye tarnished, ye dead who yet live. The call of long lost race speaks to us all. For alone, chieftain of the Badlands, the ever-brilliant Goldilocks. Fear, the deathbed companion, a loathsome gun-eater, and Sir Gideon Othniel, the all-knowing.
I am vaguely confused.
Okay, questions? You got questions?
Okay. 1. It said,
One mother, whom grace would again bless, a tarnished of no renown.
so all those people they just said were tarnished.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are all tarnished. So basically, tarnished are the dead who have come back from the dead.
Between
Okay.
to stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord.
Now, why was the original Elden Lord killed?
So the story, the explanation of the preview, Godfrey the Golden, who was the Queen Marika's son, was killed in the Night of the Black Knives, and she was so distraught that she destroyed the Elden Ring, and it shattered into several shards and once the shards went out into the world, all her children, the demigods, fought for power. By each one got a shard, and they fought for power to become ruler of everything. So it started a war called the Shattering, and this has been going on for hundreds of years. And so the Night of the Black Knives, destined death was removed from. No, that was America removed destined death from the Elden Ring, and which basically made everyone immortal. She removed death out of
The
existence.
equation. Okay.
And so that's why everyone who dies comes back to life after you save at a site of grace, because there's no death. Tarnished were ones who had died and they've been brought back by grace. And your goal is to become the new Elden Lord by getting the shards of the Elden Ring and putting them back together and fixing the Elden Ring and putting the status quo back.
Okay,
But
so how are you supposed to get death back?
You gotta find the death shard of the Elden Ring and put it back into the Elden Ring. But only if you want to bring death back in the equation. See, all the Tarnished that they introduced, they're all people who have their own quest lines that have their own agenda. So the 6 different endings are: A, you can fix the Ring back to the way it's always been and repeat the cycle of life and death, or you can make changes to it according to the Gold Mask or Fia or the Dung Eater, and it changes how life existence is after that. Okay. So that's what the different endings are: is if you decide to change existence or keep status quo.
So, which ones have you done already?
I have done Fia's quest line, which is where you put death back into the Elden Ring, and so basically, Fia's people are the ones who live in death. They're ones who are still dead but live. They're basically the undead, and they're being persecuted by the Golden Order, which is America's religion, because they represent death and they're causing, death mutations all across the land. That death fog comes from the death to death shit. So she wants to bring back so that the people who are called those who live in death are no longer persecuted, and it can be more a normal thing that the dead
There's a death.
I did the Gold Mask quest line, which he was a big follower of the Golden Order, but he saw flaws in it, which was causing so much strife in the world. So he decided to make changes to it, and he made the Perfect Order, which was an improved version of the Golden Order. I have not done Dying Years, finished Dying Years ones. I also did the Ronnie's quest line, which hers is the night and the stars ending, which basically she does away with the ring altogether and starts a new line based on devotion to the moon and the stars, and it doesn't involve the outer gods at all.
Okay then.
And then there's the Frenzy Flame ending, which I did, which basically is the opposite of the 2 fingers in the Golden Order. It's the 3 fingers, and their ordeal was to burn all of existence to the ground, and it goes back to the primordial soup of one entity before there was life on ever. So his thing of space is chaos made chaos take the world. It's just burn everything and start over.
Just get rid of it.
Which is one of the cooler endings, but it's definitely considered the evil ending. So the two endings I haven't done yet are the Dung Eaters, and the one where you just fix the Elden Ring and go back to status quo the way it's always been, and starting it all over again with all its faults and flaws and whatever.
And why haven't you done that one?
Because it's one of the most boring ones.
And it's the one everybody does, in other words.
It's the standard ending, basically. Okay, you start in this church.
Yes.
And when you come over here, you find this dead body here.
You come over and find a dead body.
And this is a dead maiden. And the theory is that Vari, the guy that will first see with this, killed your maiden so to start you on his own quest line of what he wants, his own agenda. And since you're maidenless, you have to do some other stuff because you don't have a maiden. And the theory is that he killed the maidens that you have to follow his quest line.
Ah.
So we're starting out.
So this guy's a total dick.
He is a worshiper. He's a blood cultist. He worships Vogue, the Lord of Blood. Chapel of Anticipation. This is where you start the game.
The Chapel of Anticipation. Sounds like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
So this here, we fight the first boss of the game. So traditionally in Dark Souls games, it starts out where you fight an unbelievably overpowered boss and you immediately die, and then you start at the real place you're supposed to start from.
Awesome.
So they basically set you up to die, and then you start over. But
That's-
since this is my 5th playthrough and I'm unbelievably overpowered already, I'm just going to go ahead and kill him.
Oh, okay.
Well, hopefully. We'll see.
I was gonna say, is that how it's always worked, or is that
Since my 2nd playthrough, yeah. I died on the first. I died on the first playthrough, but ever since then I've killed him each time. But they get stronger each playthrough, so.
I was gonna say, isn't
So
that
you want to
supposed
see
to
his
get...
introduction? Keep watching. You come through here, and he just flies from out of
What
nowhere.
the hell?
Yeah, and he's the Grafton Scion.
Damn it.
Very bitch. And he's dead.
Nice. I did this the right way, probably.
So usually you die at this part, but I don't anymore.
You don't anymore?
But the whole point is you're supposed to die. So there's really nowhere to go, and so they trick you.
Oh.
So I have this flask that keeps me from losing my runes when I die, so I'm gonna pop that real quick.
You pop that?
And then you come over here and like, oh, this is a nice little outcrop. It's very beautiful looking, serene. Oh, how beautiful. Look, there's our tree. This is also beautiful and sweet. Oh, I died.
Oh, nice. So even if you win, you die.
Yeah. And start the death counter, because the whole point of this game is you will die a lot.
I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep a notebook open and just be like, there's one.
Yeah, and I definitely want to keep track of how many times I've died and how many times I've died from fall damage, because it's a lot more than by
Right,
enemies.
those are totally different situations.
You will die from falling more than anything, because right now I just died from falling.
I was gonna say.
Okay, now watch here. Here's another cutscene.
It's cold. I don't like it being cold. Ah, there we go. Fucker. You're in.
I still got my red girl.
You're still red. And you're recording me loading my. Is that a person or a horse?
What is it?
Oh, maybe it's your horse. Okay.
It's a horse.
A horse.
It's like more of a goat horse.
I was gonna say that looks like a demon horse, is what it looked like.
He's actually the coolest horse.
He's a what?
He's a very cool horse.
We found her.
One of her kind is sure to see the Elden Ring. Even if it does violate the Golden Order.
What? I do love the game is intuitive enough to know that you're a girl.
Well, yeah, there's several NPCs that the dialogue changes slightly depending on who it is. Like, for example, Patches will change from calling you a bastard or a doxy depending on if you're a girl or a guy.
Really?
Yeah. So, this is, you literally start in this called the Stranded Graveyard. And when we go out into the open world and open the door and first see the world as we know it, the very first person you talk to was standing literally right outside the door, as you'll see. Oh, how beautiful. Dungrave. Look, is there a tree? Oh, look, there's a site of grace. And oh, look, there's somebody standing right next to the site of grace. Let's see what he has to say.
Isn't that the guy whose head you had earlier?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I've had this mask before.
Tarnished, are we? Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring? Of course you have. No shame in it. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maiden.
How the did you know I was mainless?
Guidance, without the strength of rules, and without an invitation the round table hold, you are fated, it seems.
And if you notice, his hands are covered in blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, this killed me.
Luckily
I'm
for
called.
you, however, there is one shining ray of hope for even the maidenless. Valet, take care of
This is the guy that has the big gay flowers for my bed.
with grace, the golden light that gives life to you tarnished. You may also behold its golden rays,
See?
pointing in a particular direction at times. That is the guidance of grace, a path that the tarnished must travel. Indeed, grace's guidance holds the answers. It will lead you tarnished to the path you are meant to follow.
Or the path he wants you to take.
Right.
Grace's guidance will reveal the path forward, most certainly.
So basically, he's telling me to go to the castle,
Over on the cliff.
which if you go directly there, you're gonna miss out on a lot of shit.
God, Godric, the last day. It's time you set off, I should think, to Castle Stormvale on the cliff, where Grace will guide you.
So the rule of thumb
If you
is,
seek the Elden Ring,
yeah, keep calling me mainless, bitch.
as you are,
The rule of thumb is you keep talking to them until they start repeating themselves.
set off,
Just like
can't see you.
Okay, so you first open the gates, talk to Vare, and look, there's the first enemy to fight. Your biggest mistake is attacking that guy when you first start, because he will eat your lunch when you first start. And you people have to come back way later to know. But since I'm not just starting, I'm going to go attack him. And let's see if I die.
I was gonna say, where's your horse?
You don't start off with a horse. I don't have a horse. Jesus, I can't get a hit off.
I was gonna say, he is kind of like eating your lunch, man.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Even his horse is like trying to kill you.
Of course I'm out of already.
And he has some kind of creepy shield. What the fuck, yo? The Tree Sentinel. Good thing you healed yourself so that you could almost die.
Yeah. I'm out of healing though. Die, bitch.
There you go, you got him. Dude, I thought he was gonna take you out for cereal.
And I didn't summon. I'm trying to be good and not summon. Okay. I'm out of healing, so let's go ahead and rest, get my shit back. This is where you meet your first merchant. I
He
think
looks like
he looks
Santa
like he's
Claus.
dressed like Santa Claus, right?
I was gonna say, why is Santa Claus in the game?
Tarnished. I can see it, but I can also see that you're not after my throat. Then why not purchase it for something?
I love
I am
these guys.
Carly, purveyor of fine goods.
Kale!
I am of a nomadic people, selling wares as I travel. The land has been tainted by madness since the shattering of the Elden Ring. It's only tarnished like yourself, who keep things from drying up entirely. Let's say you're a very welcome customer.
And let's see, he's got throwing daggers. I already got all the crack pots. I got the crafting kit. I got all the cookbooks already. You can get a torch and a shield here, which I already got already. I got the chain koi. I got all this stuff already. There's nothing I need. Yeah, a telescope. But the merchants actually have a very sad backstory that we'll find throughout while we're playing.
Why is that?
So the history behind that, actually, I'll read it off of the merchant's clothing. That's where you get the backstory for them. Merchants. These merchants once thrived as the Great Caravan, but after being accused of heretical beliefs, their entire clan was rounded up and buried alive far underground.
What?
There they chanted a curse of despair and summoned the Flame of Frenzy. So these are the people that actually brought the Flame of Frenzy to being, because they had heretical beliefs and they were rounded up and buried underground, and in despair they summoned the Flame of Frenzy. So remember that part under the ground where there's all the bodies everywhere?
Oh yeah.
Those were all the merchants. And if you fight one of them, they fight you with madness. So they lead in the Flame of Frenzy, and it also leads you to where the three fingers, and you get the Flame of Frenzy yourself is. So you have to go into all that.
Jesus.
So yeah, so it's pretty sad that they were a great caravan and then they were rounded up and basically cured off. So every time you find one of these guys, they're usually like hiding off in a corner somewhere because they're being hunted down and put
That's
away.
insane.
Yeah. But if you happen to attack one of them, they will eat your lunch. They're pretty strong.
What is it?